Hey guys, the Tuesday afternoon. I'm trying to get my shit back on track and actually do things on Tuesday. So one of the things I was going to talk today about was the volumetric diet. What is the volumetric diet? People may have heard about it, people may not be too sure about it, and is it good or is it right or is it a fad? Well, the basics of the volumetric diet is actually really sound, and it's something that we're like preaching to the choir. It's all about calorie density, okay? Some foods have more calories, we'll say, per weight than other foods. And a good example would that be, we'll take something like broccoli. You take half a kilo of broccoli and there's like 200 calories in it. It's very little. And you take a measly little Kit Kat and there is also 200 calories in that. The reason is quite simple. Like, the broccoli is a lot more nutritious, a lot closer to nature, has a lot of water in it, thus takes up a large volume for the same amount of calories. So you eat that half a kilo of broccoli and you ain't going to be hungry. It's going to fill up your stomach, but it has substantially less calories than other foods. So the thing about volumetrics is they divide the foods into different groups, which I think is a really good idea. This is one of the best diet approaches I've seen for a while, actually. You know, it's I just want to get this here, so I have this right. The 4 categories are: category 1, free anytime food. So this is your non-starchy vegetables such as broccoli, tomatoes, mushrooms, broth-based soups, so low-calorie soups, not creamy soups. These are things that are very low calorie. They will fill you up quite a lot for very little energy taken in. They'll keep you going. Next thing to have is your category 2, which would be reasonable portions of your whole grains such as brown rice, whole wheat pasta, potatoes, lean proteins, legumes, and low-fat dairy. So your lean proteins would be your chicken or your steak without the fat and so on. Very important part of your diet. Obviously has more calories than things like your broccoli and your broth-based soups, but it's very important for your diet to help satiation, to help you recover. Then category 3 would be the things you want to get much smaller portions of, which would be your breads, your desserts, fat-baked snacks, and which would be like crisps and the like, cheeses, and so on and so forth. And you don't want to eat too many of them. Little is fine. We generally eat too many of these, and this is one of the big problems we have with our everyday diets. And category 4 is pretty obvious: fried foods, candy, cookies, nuts, chocolates, and straight fat. We don't want to be eating a lot of those. And what they try to do is 3 meals, 2 snacks, which would be more your category 3, and a dessert each day. Now the great thing is when you follow this kind of a diet, when you're eating a lot of your green beans, a lot of broccoli, a lot of cauliflower, not too much sauces, you are going to be eating a large amount of food. You're not going to feel hungry if you do this correctly. And that's what the beauty of it. And this is why approaches like Paleo work really well, because they're focusing on natural foods that are lower in calories, that are very low energy density. So they take up a lot of space in your stomach, you don't feel hungry, you're using less calories throughout the day, and this helps you lose weight. This is the same thing Volumetrics does, which is brilliant. This is a great approach. If you were ever on the fence about doing Volumetrics, I would say to you very much, I think it's worth trying. It's a very sensible approach, developed by a nutritionist who actually has a lot of stock in what they're saying, and looks like a very good way of taking a bit of control of your diet, a very good way to approach your diet, and so on and so forth. So I would strongly recommend people try it. One of the drawbacks will be, obviously this doesn't suit as well to eating out and processed foods, because one of the big problems with eating out is the big onus on a restaurant. They don't really care about your calories. I love eating out, but they don't care about your calories. They care about it tasting good in your mouth. And one of the best ways to make things taste good in your mouth is fats and sugars everywhere you can. Mayonnaise, butter, sugar in your coffee, and so on, and your cakes. All these things taste amazing. They are very calorie dense though. You would not expect to eat loads of butter and sugar and lose weight. Neither should you eat out 7 days a week or eat out for lunch 5 days a week. Get 2 or 3 takeaways at the weekend and expect to lose weight. Something's got to give. If you're doing a crazy amount of exercise, maybe you'll get away with that, but the reality is very few people do that amount of exercise. And another thing I like about volumetrics is they very much push the idea of daily activity, 30 to 60 minutes of daily activity. And you know what, if nothing else, it's going to be an hour where you're not stuck in front of the TV eating. And that's a great idea. So that was the main thing I want to say about volumetrics. Very nice approach. I think a very interesting approach. If it works for you, if it speaks to you, I think you should really try it. And don't be afraid to send me a message and tell me how you got on with it. Okay? So take care, guys. Have a read up. See if it suits you. And we'll talk about something else next week.